Hello everybody, my name is Memo. This is my channel, FancyMemo. Welcome back to my channel. And welcome back to this week where I talk about the best and worst music from 2025. We've survived. We just finished talking about the worst music of the year. Yesterday I talked about the worst albums of the year. I talked about 10 of the worst albums of the year. Today we are gonna finally jump into the positives and talk about the 10 best EPs from 2025. It's been a while since I've done an EP list, but there's been a lot of great EPs released this past year. So I thought it'd be a good chance to bring it back and talk about 10 of my favorites. I'm excited to do so, but before we get started, if you like music related content like this, please subscribe, since that is what I do here. And if you're already subscribed and you want more of this for some reason, check out my Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. If you like basketball, more specifically NBA basketball, I have a basketball podcast called Above the Rim Rundown, where we run down all things NBA. Check it out if you're interested. But yeah, let's just jump into it. Why not? I'm excited. I'm excited to share these EPs. And we are going to start off with number 10, which is We Live in a Society by FLUME and JPEGMAFIA. JPEGMAFIA is one of my favorite artists of all time. So of course I'm going to bring up this EP with FLUME right here, who is an incredible producer. They've worked together in the past before and have made some fire music. So I was expecting big things from this album, and although I did enjoy it, I was slightly disappointed. I expected something a lot more cohesive and insane, but the 4 tracks we did get were pretty solid. Like Is It Real with Raven Lenae, out of all artists, is the only feature on this album. That's pretty cool, honestly. This one is a pretty cutesy little track here. I like AI Girlfriend for how absurd the subject matter is. The Ocean Is Fake is probably my favorite track here. Track 1 is a very entertaining track. I will say with these 4 tracks here, I think they are all very entertaining. They just don't have a lot of replay value for me. Like once you've heard track 1 once, there's really no need to go back to it. But it is a hilarious track that I did enjoy, definitely off of my first listen. So yeah, 4 solid tracks, not a lot of replay value, but I do enjoy these tracks, and hopefully these two can come together, make another EP, and do an even better job. That sounds very backhanded, but I do enjoy this EP. I have it in my collection. I do enjoy it. It's in the top 10 for a reason. Alright, moving on. At number 9, we've got MYSTICWOLF over here, friend of the channel, with The Abyss of Dissonance. MYSTICWOLF is a New York-based rapper who is extremely talented. This EP right here is very diverse. There are several like lyrical cuts here, some like club bangers. There's even like an experimental cut here that reminds me of something like JPEGMAFIA would do. I know JPEGMAFIA is one of his inspirations. He's even sampled within this project. I think Mystic showcases his talents very well on this EP. It's far from perfect. I feel like a few of the tracks here are a bit too short. Some are so short I feel like they're more of like a good idea than a good full-fledged track. Either way, I am very impressed with his work. I think he is extremely talented, and there will be something that you enjoy off of this project. There's a little bit of everything in here, so I really recommend this EP right here, The Abyss of Dissonance. It's really solid. And look at that EP cover. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful stuff right here. So yeah, shout out to MYSTICWOLF. We can now move on to the next EP, which is Joey Sara EP by Dracula, another friend of the channel here. Dracula is a very, very talented artist. I am so surprised that he doesn't have even more monthly listeners, because this man is not only a great rapper, but the beat selection here is incredible. Like, I know he produces some of his stuff as well. Like, he is an incredible artist. You know, a bit monotone, but I feel like on a few of the tracks on this EP, he kind of brings in a little bit more charisma within a few of the tracks here. Very standard hip-hop overall. You know, it's just good beats, good rhymes. However, I do think Dracula's mic presence has been improving a lot, and it really shows on this EP, and frankly has some of my favorite Dracula tracks of all time, especially the track Gold Medals. Oh my god, what a gem. What a gem of a track. It's such a beautiful sounding track. The instrumental here is gorgeous. Incredible stuff from Dracula. He dropped an amazing album last year in 2024, a great EP this year. I can't wait to see what he does next in 2026. At number 7, we got Gabriel and Paco Amoroso with PAPOTA. This is a Spanish, I guess, pop duo that blew up on Tiny Desk. I believe in 2024, they performed a few tracks of theirs in a live setting using live instrumentals, which was different for them. You know, the tracks they performed weren't recorded with live instrumentals, but in that Tiny Desk performance, they tried it out and it went viral. It sounded amazing. So what I like about this project right here is that they basically took the Tiny Desk performance, put it in this EP, and then added about 5 new tracks as well at the beginning of this EP using live instrumentals, which again, they really haven't done in the past, but they did it for this project and it sounds phenomenal. There's some very upbeat, fun tracks here, some silly lines here and there as well. These guys are extremely talented, but they know how to not take it too seriously as well. So if you know them from their Tiny Desk performance, I highly recommend this EP because you will be introduced to some new tracks that have that same feel and are just as great as that performance. All right, let's jump into the next track. At number 6, we've got Paris, Texas, hell yeah, with They Left Me With The Sword. Paris, Texas is one of my favorite rap duos right now. They are amazing at genre blending. They are killing it in the underground experimental industrial scene. And you get a lot more of that on this EP right here. If you're a fan of Paris, Texas, you're gonna like this project because they really just build off of what they're so good at and continue growing off of that sound on this EP right here. They have amazing tracks like Infinite, Tantrum, Dogma 25. So if that sounds interesting to you, then I highly recommend it. We've already made it to the top 5. At number 5, we've got Gabriel Jacoby with Gutta Child. This is an artist I discovered this year based off of this EP. I feel like a lot of people discovered Gabriel through this EP because it's an amazing EP. It's really, really good. You know, this year I didn't listen to a lot of R&B music, but you know, this EP kind of helped fill that void because this is incredible stuff from Gabriel, who throughout this EP has this nostalgic feel within his music, within the instrumentals, within his voice as well. There are tracks here that reminds me of 2000s pop bangers. Gabriel himself is an interesting vocalist who reminds me of a lot of different artists. He reminds me of Smino, of Andre 3000. I get hints of Prince in there as well. Gabriel is an incredible singer. He's got incredible vocal chops, and yeah, I'm just very happy that I discovered his music this year. Hopefully he doesn't slow down. I feel like this EP is helping bring a lot of light towards Gabriel, so I hope he takes advantage of that and drop an amazing project, whatever that might be, in 2026. So shout out to him. Great EP, definitely deserves to be in the top 5. But yeah, let's move on to number 4, which is surprisingly, we've got Yeat at number 4 with Dangerous Summer. Oh my god, it truly was a dangerous summer listening to this EP all summer long. It was such a fun EP to go back to. Yeat is an interesting artist. I feel like he either impresses me or disappoints me with every project, and on this one right here, he impressed me. This EP is filled with so many bangers. Oh my god, there's so many hits off of this EP that, you know, just kind of make you feel like a badass. That's how I feel listening to this new EP. There's some of my favorite tracks of the year off of this project, like Come and Go, Put It On G. When Yeat wants to, he can come through with an incredible project, and that's what he did over here. This is just some fun hip hop, nothing too serious, but you know, sometimes you gotta turn the brain off and just have fun, and that's what I did with this EP. I had fun with it. So yeah, shout out Yeat, shout out to Yeat. Top 4 for my guy. Let's go. Next at number 3, we've got Leon Thomas with FOLKS. I felt like this EP went under the radar, especially for me, I guess, because I didn't know about this EP till like a month ago, maybe. But man, this is one of the most incredible EPs I've heard all year. Probably one of the most underrated. I don't know. I don't hear anybody talking about this EP, but maybe I'm not in the right circles. But I'm glad I did end up discovering this project because it is so fun and lively. Definitely one of the most lively projects Leon Thomas has made. I feel like a complaint of mine with projects like Mutt, even though Mutt is great, I feel like there should be a bit more like upbeat moments, a bit more liveliness and charisma within the track list, and that's what this EP provides. And I know that Leon Thomas can provide these moments, but man, he surprised me and impressed me here. There are so many fun and eccentric moments throughout this EP, like on Baccarat. The instrumental on that track is unbelievable. So yeah, shout out to Leon Thomas. He is truly a talented artist and performer. I got to see him live last year. It was an incredible set. Shout out to him. All right, let's move on to number 2. At number 2, Paris, Texas is back, ladies and gentlemen. You thought I was only going to talk about one Paris, Texas EP. Hell no. We are talking about They Left Me With a Gun by Paris, Texas. That's the number 2 spot. And oh my god, what an EP. So yeah, obviously they dropped 2 EPs this year. They dropped it back to back weeks earlier this year. And with the first project, They Left Me With the Sword, I felt like they continue to thrive in a more hip-hop direction, something that they're more known for. But on this one right here, They Left Me With a Gun, I feel like they went a bit more towards the rock direction, even though they always implemented that sound within their music, but they really went for it on this EP, and I think it paid off. I think a lot of their singing performances here were great and entertaining and fun to listen to. I just love how wild, chaotic, creative, and experimental this EP is. I think they took a risk and it paid off. This is such an incredible EP. I am very impressed with it. Even though it's a bit shorter, I do really love this EP, and I do prefer it over the one I already talked about. So if you were going to listen to one Paris, Texas EP, even though you should listen to both, but if you were going to listen to one, it should be They Left Me With a Gun. I think that's the better project, and that is the number 2 EP for my personal list. But yeah, we've already made it to the number 1 EP of the year. The number 1 EP for 2025, in my humble opinion, is, I guess, heart emoji by Jane Remover. What a year for Jane Remover. Shout out to Jane Remover. She dropped one of the best albums of the year that I may or may not be talking about later this week. Subscribe so you'll find out. And in my opinion, she dropped the best EP of the year. This is an incredible project from her. I feel like these might be leftovers from Revenge Seekers maybe, but it sounds totally different, or not totally different, but it's like a more stripped back version of Revenge Seekers. It's not as in your face or aggressive. There's aggressive moments, obviously. There's going to be those chaotic performances and instrumentals in a Jane Remover project, but I feel like on this one, she stripped it back a little bit. She went in a more, I want to say, cutesy direction for the lack of words. It's a lot more catchier. It's more pop oriented. And I think I prefer that more over the industrial, I want to say, rage maybe. I don't even know. She makes her own type of music. Whatever her stuff is, it's its own genre. So it's hard to describe Revenge Seekers and pinpoint like the exact genre that might be. But with this project right here, it's definitely more on the poppier side. It's very catchy. I love many of the hooks here. This project has a lot of replay value for me. I will be going back and back to this EP for a long time. I'm sure of it. So yeah, shout out to Jane Remover and to, I guess, Heart. I believe that's the name of the EP. Heart is the EP of the year. So congrats to Jane Remover. Yay. And yeah, that's the video. So thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, makes sense, right? Comment down below. What's your favorite EP of the year? Mine is Heart by Jane Remover. Let me know what's your favorite EP of the year. down in the comments down below. If you like music related content like this, please subscribe, since that is what I do here. And if you're already subscribed and you want more of this for some reason, check out my Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. If you like basketball, more specifically NBA basketball, I have a basketball podcast. It's called Above the Rim Rundown, where we run down all things NBA. Check it out if you're interested. But yeah, I'm done here. So thank you guys for watching. I love you guys. Goodbye. Yeah.